We have a real opportunity coming out of COVID-19, despite the challenges we faced, to bring together the best minds to understand the opportunities, to engage with technology better. This is the new smarts of Australian agriculture that will drive us and drive our industry, to drive profitability, and above all, get Australia out of the recession that's been caused by COVID-19.
No one needs reminding of the stresses and shocks experienced over the past few years. The question is, how do we plan for them and make our food system more resilient in the age of uncertainty? We know that data and digital has a huge role to play, but so does collaboration and trust.
What are the very best, most strategic mitigation strategies that deliver the greatest return on investment?
It's my pleasure to share with you the outputs of a 3-month piece of work that KPMG and Food Agility have collaborated on to take a deep dive into our agri-food supply chain resilience. What we've mapped out is strategic digital and data R&D investment opportunities that can have a transformative return on investment impact for participants in these sectors. A fundamental mindset shift is needed. We need greater collaboration, and digital needs to play a much bigger role.
Why is now the moment to turn our gaze in that direction?
With the confluence of all of these stresses and shocks, the opportunity now is to really learn from the experience that we've all been through and make sure that we build strategies into our businesses to be best prepared for when they happen again, because they are going to happen again. One thing's for sure, tomorrow we need to be faster at responding than we are today.
One of those really fascinating stories of how sometimes in a crisis it actually forces us out of our comfort zone to actually do something like share data, which perhaps we wouldn't have otherwise done to respond, which moves us along this journey.
What data do you need to make your decisions? We'd been experimenting with things like minimum till, cover cropping, and we were developing them slowly and steadily, and we decided, no, we need to go all in on this. So the data from our trials allowed us to go, okay, we're going to really go after this now.
How is IAG's way of assessing risk changing? And, importantly, how can you use data and digital to reward and incentivise resilient agri-businesses?
As a large insurer, we traditionally assess risks on a variety of methods. That's normally gathered by visiting a farm, getting on site, walking around the farm, understanding it. But now we're getting more and more through data and digital technology. We're knowing more about what we're being asked to insure. We're getting far more detail. It's not just now limited to the assessing of the risk point of view. We're able to now use data and digital technology at claims time. We can identify where our clients are, so we're prepared, and we can almost know in advance who needs support and who needs it very quickly. We truly believe there's those farms that are embracing technology, using digital technologies, will make them more resilient, make them more sustainable, and we certainly think there's something in that, and that will be feeding through into pricing longer term. So I think the more data we get, the more granular our pricing becomes. We move from more community rating and more general approach to a very detailed and specific approach, recognising the unique attributes of each farm.
I think exemplar regional development, especially in the food industry, it requires collaboration and trust, as you say. But more than that, it actually requires a quadruple helix engagement approach. So that brings everyone on the journey. It focuses, I guess, on overall competitive advantage rather than just looking over your own personal fence line. So that sort of collaboration brings around, it brings to the table a brains trust that helps to overcome challenges, it develops opportunities, and it seeks efficiencies and scale.
We look to digital and data tools to provide really fact-based and specific information, because we think that's how we create long-lasting change and really mutual benefit through the supply chain of improving farmer resilience and companies like ours also meeting our goals as well. So being very transparent that we're looking to work together to have common goals.
We work in the 3 pillars of climate smart agriculture, which is all around improving our farmers' livelihoods, improving their climate resilience, and reducing their greenhouse gas emissions. It's vitally important for us that we have this access to this data so that we can feed the information back to our farmers and then have a positive impact across all of the activities on the farm, including the reduction of their greenhouse gas emissions.
Data and research come together to be able to validate what we're doing here in Australia for Australian conditions. And you can't bluff farmers. We need to take them along for the journey as well. We can have a customised solution for addressing the issue of sustainability and reducing greenhouse gases that is specific not just for Australian conditions, but the many different conditions we see throughout our regions. And then we can actually start to work it in our types of production systems to get the biggest bang for our buck and enact the best gains for our farmers while still maintaining profitability. And if we do that, we'll hit that 2030 target and continue to supply the best food and fibre in the world.
What's really clear to me from all the different perspectives we've just heard is that our panellists share one thing in common. They all see digital and data as the key to creating a more resilient and sustainable sector for the future. And they all see that happening by combining it with research and analytics to actually get insight to help us change what we do to create a more sustainable and resilient future for our sector.
For the last 5 months, our online business has moved similar to the UK, which took 2.5 years to move forward. So there was a massive growth in that data digital experience. With regards to fresh food, the stock was there. It was just trying to get it through the supply chains faster. As demand goes up, there's always going to be this lag. So the sooner we can get the information through the supply chain, the better.
When COVID first hit and the panic buying started, we had to flip the coin around. We're generally 80 to 85% export and 15 to 20% domestic. So to help customers like Coles out, we were able to move a lot of product around, a lot of containers around, push out some of our export orders and then process more livestock for Coles at a faster pace.
In terms of food supply chain, when you look at it from an IT perspective, it's siloed. And what I mean by that, the companies in that supply chain, they often have good systems. And I know actually they do have good systems because I built my previous career on implementing those systems. But those systems don't talk to each other between companies.
Yesterday, when you and I had a chat, we talked about what happened for you on January the 24th of this year, which sounds like a hairy day for you. Everything changed for you in your business. Tell us about that day and tell us the data side of that story as well while you're doing it.
All of our processors or exporters across SA, Vic and Tassie had every single one of their orders from their customers cancelled overnight. We all kind of have our own data and information, but none of it linked together. Had we had a little bit of insight back then about how many lobsters are in tanks, how many lobsters are in boats, when they get to the consignee on the other end, where were they going to go? We probably would have tailored our emergency response to be a little bit more long-lasting. It's an example of where a good system that integrated with other exporters and down the line would have really helped us to probably just take a deep breath and come up with a better plan.
We see this traceability component as being really important because we know that our premium agricultural products are often counterfeited. And through a smart trademark, we want to be able to help protect these premium products by proving their authenticity.
It's one thing if the label can be trusted, it's another thing if the thing inside can be trusted as well. So how do we get consumers to trust those messages? And also, how do we make it easy for industry to engage, to get access to this kind of technology?
It's just such a great example of why we're all here today, which is, we can't do this on our own, can we? I mean, we can't trust just knowing there's something in a database or that something's been captured with AI or that there's the right sticker on a box. We all need to work together to deliver that. We can't do it on our own. It's impossible.
This is an important opportunity, an important program, and I ask you all to please come together and bring the best of each and every one of you, because Australian agriculture and the Australian economy need you now more than ever. Congratulations on all your work, and I look forward to working with you well into the future.
Of course, this is a call to action. We're open for business. You've seen some of our partners who are working on qualifying projects that we will co-invest with them in. This is our specialty. As Food Agility, we are a cooperative research centre. We are collaborative by nature, and we're looking to bring people together in a trusted environment. Thanks to you all. Cheers.